Streaming today for a couple hours probably. So I'll probably go until like 4:30 or something. So let's get started, right? I think I've got everything set up right. Uh, oh, um, let's see. One second, I'm just gonna pause this stream just for a second. Um, and I'm gonna be right there. Hey Lurks, how's it going? Um, okay. I will be right back, right back. uh, okay, cool. So I am ready now. Let's go back to the scene. All of my windows. Oh, they stayed in place. That's awesome. Okay, so today let's get right to it. I want to finish the improvements to the framework so that we can just be over and done with it. Um, okay, so let's see, where did we leave off? Yesterday, let's see, yesterday I fixed the bug with for each item so it doesn't throw an error when no data is present. The data new attribute shouldn't require a selector. It defaults to adding to the closest list. Hey, Steven, how's it going? Um, how are you doing today? And then we fixed the bug. We default to list selector even when a position is specified. There's one other thing I wanted to do here. I forget what it was. Oh, yeah. I wanted to make it even more flexible. So I didn't actually add this to the to-dos yet. Let's do it real quick. So editable attribute should default to text single line, even when not specified. It's the weekend, finally. How are you? I'm doing pretty good. I had a little coffee this morning, so I'm going 20% faster than normal. And yeah, looking forward to the weekend a little bit. I might have friends visit tonight for some dinner, making some pizza maybe. And yeah, probably play a little basketball, maybe do a little like yoga or something. Try to relax. I try not to do any work on the weekend except for maybe like some planning or something. Um, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good weekend, I think. Okay, so let's start up the app. So let's go to Terminal. I'm going to GitHub, Remake Framework. And we're going to do npm run dev. We're going to do localhost 3000. Go to our to-dos, and okay, cool. So this is running. And if I go to index, I should have an editable attribute on the to-do lists partial. So here, so this is, I want this to default to text single line even when it's not specified. So if I delete this now, and I refresh this page, and I try to rename, nothing's going to pop up. Okay, so, and do we get an error in the console? We should probably. Nope, we don't. Okay. So let's go to the client side, let's go to input.js, let's go to editable attribute, and I believe we're getting an editable config string here, and we're able to process it, I bet. You're looking forward to meeting friends as well. It's been a tough week with long working hours, so a bit of recreation is really appreciated. Yeah, totally. Do you ever find it hard to like just relax and have fun after you've been like working really hard for a while. Because like sometimes I get super stressed out just by the idea of having fun. I don't know if anyone else gets that, but then like once I'm in it, you know, I'm like, oh, this is great. I should have done this all along. But it can feel like tough to just let go. Do you ever get that? Yeah, it's a strange thing, isn't it? Um, okay, so, but that's cool that that I'm not the only one that has that uh, that happens to. Okay, so it looks like our editable config string is name, but we're not getting anything back from this process attribute string, which I think is a mistake. So let's look into here, and we're going to look at this function. Oh, okay, this is interesting. So we get the parts, and then we assemble the result. It's a weird thing. Huh, get parts. Okay, nice, okay. Get parts, we're going to match regex for phrase or special character. I have no idea how this works anymore. Assemble results. Huh. So, what happens if I console log the parts here? 1, 2, 3, refresh. Parts are name and nothing. Okay, so at least we're getting something there. So the problem is not in get parts. So we say if current part, we're going to return nothing. If previous part is a parentheses, if previous part is this or that, modifier has been processed. Current part is that. Okay, we're not going to do any of that. Regex test for phrase. And next part, okay. Oh, geez, this is the problem. So it's only going to accept something that has parentheses, I believe, after it. And next part equals parentheses. Or if previous part is that, and then next part is a colon, or next part is a closing parentheses. And if it's a phrase, then it's a modifier. Okay, and then if we're within parens and extracted objects, return extracted objects. Ay, ay, ay. This is like so much more complicated than I thought it was. So if you're curious about like what this does, so it turns something like like an example would be like a string like this. So we have like, or we could say like profile name just to make it clear. And then we have text single line, and it's going to turn that into name is profile name, and modifier is going to be text single line. And args are going to be none for this example, but if we, for example, had text single line and then like, I don't know, some option, right? Then this would be like that. So it's a pretty cool like attribute parser thing, process attribute string, and it even supports multiple. So like you can have this, and then you can have another one after that. Now the problem with this is we wanted to support, I believe, I'm not sure, it might be more trouble than it's worth, but we wanted to support having something without these parentheses here. And if we're there, we just want this to return as the name. And right now we're not getting anything. I believe we're getting, yeah, just an empty array from this. Because this is saying, current object name. So if we look at everywhere we're setting name, it's just here. So it's only if it's a phrase and the next part is a parentheses. Then it's a name. So yeah, let's go through this a little bit. Okay, so if there's no current part, we're just going to remove it, right? So we're just going to return from this loop, right? We're not going to do anything with it. And we get the previous part and the next part too. So then we're going to say, if previous part is a parentheses, then we're within the parentheses. If the previous part is a colon, or the previous part is an open parentheses, and the next part is not a colon, and the next part is not a closed parentheses, and then the modifier has been processed. So the modifier is the one that comes before the colon, but that one's flexible. So that one can be before a colon, or it can just be before a closed parentheses. So if previous part, is open parentheses, and next part is not a colon, that makes sense, right? Because we already, or wait, what? Oh, okay, got it. So this is not processing the modifier, this is not setting the modifier, this is just saying the modifier has already been processed. So this is saying, okay, if previous part is a colon, then yes, we've absolutely processed the modifier, right? Or if previous part is an open parentheses, and the next part is not a colon, right? And the next part is not a close parentheses. So yeah, we're dealing with both of the situations there, right? So one situation is the modifier is right before a colon. The other one is that there's no arguments. There's only the modifier. And if there's only the modifier, then I don't even know. If there's only the modifier, then the current part is probably like a closed parenthesis, I guess. So that would cover this, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. We'll just let's assume it's working. I did run tests with all this, so I think it's working. If current part is a closing parentheses, then we're going to set current object to undefined. We're going to say is within parentheses is false because we're closing parentheses now, and has modifier been processed is now set to false because we've exited that part of the code. Okay, and then we're going to say regex for phrase test current part. So that just means it's a phrase. So that just means it's not any of the like special keys, right? Yeah. So it's not like a so for example right here, it's not a parentheses either one, open or close parentheses. It's not a colon. Oops. Oh no, I just modified that. And it's not a comma, right? Okay. So that's what a phrase is. Basically a word character, basically, I guess. But it can have other characters, special characters, as long as it's not one of the other ones that we use for special meanings here. So then we say Okay, so if it's a phrase, so basically if it's a word character, it's an argument character, and the next part is the open parentheses, then create a new object, right? Because then, yeah, so now we have a new kind of set of arguments and modifier or whatever, and add it to the final array. So current object, and then we're going to just push that in right away, and then we're going to start modifying it. So we're going to say this part is the name if it comes right before a parentheses. Okay, that makes sense. Previous part, if previous part is an open parentheses and next part is a colon, or next part is a closed parentheses, then this is a modifier if it comes right after an open parentheses and right before a colon, or a closing parentheses. And then we just test to make sure it's a phrase, and then we add it in as a modifier. And then we say, okay, if we're within parentheses and the modifier has been processed already, and this is a phrase, then we're going to say this is an args. So we're going to say current object equals the existing args or an empty array, and then we're going to push in the current part as a new arg. Okay, so the only thing I would change from this is this part, right? So we want to redefine what a name is. Okay, so the next part doesn't necessarily have to be an open parentheses, and we might break everything here, which would be horrible. But we want to say the next part is a open parentheses, or we're basically at the beginning. So we're not within parentheses. Ay, ay, ay. This is actually really hard. So, because I really don't want to break anything, you know, and I want to take in all the like different possibilities. So, if the next part is an open parentheses, so for example, so in this, it could be like profile name and then a space and then like profile date and then like some arguments. So how do I tell that? I guess I would say, or we can add like some additional parentheses here like a crazy person. And we can say, or we're not within parentheses. And current part is not in open parentheses. Because here, we're only saying we're within parentheses if the previous part is in open parentheses. Right? I guess, what am I doing if the current part is an open parentheses? I'm not doing anything. So I don't know why I don't just return here. You know? I think I could just return here. Because I don't need to do any other I don't think maybe I do. Let's see. Do I need to do any other processing here if the, right before. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do it there. Okay, yeah, I guess so. Seems a little bit tough. Okay, so if we're not within parentheses, and current part is not an opening parenthesis, and where do we set this? Yeah, okay, and current part is not a closing parentheses, and current part is not a closing parentheses. I think that's all the cases, right? Because we're going to have a phrase, then we're going to have a opening parentheses, then we're going to have it'd be nice to have an example here. How do I not have an example? Processes, strings like, username, I think it was like this. So yeah, we could say like favorite color, color picker, colon, and then like red, blue, orange, green, something like that. So this would be the modifier. That would be that. And then we could also have another thing. So we could say like profile name, and then we could just have like texting a line, right? And that would be the modifier. So yeah, I think if we're not an open parentheses, we're not a closing parentheses, and we're not inside the parentheses, that should, in my opinion, oh, there's one more, the colon, right? We could be the colon. No, because if we're the colon, we're inside the parentheses. Okay, so I think that covers all the cases. So then we're this. Okay, let's try it. It seems a little risky, but let's go for it. So let's do this. Boom. So now we've got name. So it worked. It worked, you guys. That's exciting, right? You're not that late. I've just been going for like 20 minutes or so, I think, around there. Yeah. Welcome to the stream. So we just figured out how to make this process attribute string a little bit better. So yeah, happy to have you here too. So it's able to process. So if you have like a data attribute that's equal to this string right here, it's able to turn that into, or let's say like turns strings like this into, and then we'll do this. So, so we have this like this part, and then there's a repeating part, right? And both of them have potential modifiers in them, and then potential like sub-arguments. So what this will turn into is an object with a name equal to, we'll just copy it, favorite color, modifier equal to color picker for this first one, and then args equal to an array. And we're going to get red, blue, orange, green. And then we're going to have another object, and we're going to have name, and that's going to be profile name. And then we're going to have a modifier. Text single line. So this, I think there's probably like slightly better ways of doing what I did, but I'm pretty proud of being able to write like this thing, right, which turns these like repeated things into things that are easy to process, right? So we have the name, we have the modifier, and then we have the extra args. I think it's good. Let's actually document this a little bit better, maybe. Yeah, let's say this. So covers two cases. Either we've just passed the modifier, or I don't know what this part is. If previous part equals open parens, and next part is not a colon, this is weird to me. So if previous part, so are we in the parentheses? I guess we're not necessarily in the parentheses, are we? Oh, got it, got it, got it, got it, got it. Okay. So yeah, this is telling us where we've processed the modifier. That's all. It's not telling us like if the modifier was the previous thing. Sorry, I got a little confused. So this is just saying, so like, or we're processing the arguments. So the previous part is not in open parentheses because that's going to be right where the modifier goes. The modifier has to be after the open parentheses. So yeah, let's write these down. I'm like taking a kind of like minimum viable product approach to my documentation, like just adding in the minimum that allows me to understand it, and then hopefully I'll clean this up later so that, I mean, like I think other people can understand it, right? But like I think ideally the documentation would be a little bit better. So name comes first. Name must. Hey, Yu Lao. Hey, Commander Root. Hey, Forsaken GM. How are you guys doing? Come first. Name is the first item in each section of the string to be processed. Did I get raided? Did someone raid me? Thank you for all the new visitors. I don't know if I got rated or not. So name is the first item in each section of the string to be processed. Okay, let's see. Each section is defined by a string by this structure, string, parentheses, string, colon, string, string, string. Okay, it's kind of clear, I guess. Name is the first string, and each section of the string, in each section, we'll say. And then we'll say modifier is always the first string inside the parentheses. And we'll like put these in programming quotes so that it's clear that they're official terms. Yeah, totally. Pretty mainstream, right? Soon I will take over the world. So, and then args are always after the modifier. And we'll say modifier and args are optional, but in order to have args, you need a modifier. Modifier, args, and parentheses are all optional, but in order to have args, you need a modifier, and in order to have a modifier, you need parentheses. I don't know if that's all. I don't know if that's all necessary, but it'll help me keep things straight. So that's usually how I can tell if it's good documentation. Like if I'm gonna look back on this later and I'm gonna be like, "Thank you, past self, for explaining this to me in a way that I can barely understand," because at least you didn't just leave me like completely hanging. Um, yeah. Okay. Or we're processing args. So to get back to this part, and then if current part, we'll say like reset if we're leaving a section. Yeah, exactly. I'm like always impressed with how hard code is to understand, even when I think like, oh, I don't need documentation for this. This is so simple. It's like 3 lines of code. Of course, I'm going to be able to understand it later. And then like I look back at it later, and it's like it's like these 3 functions that do all these other kinds of zany things, and it takes me like a whole afternoon just to figure it out. Yeah. Yeah, I totally understand that. Totally. Just imagine all of the other like developers who are building like foundational utilities for like our government and our infrastructure. Oh man, that's just gonna be hard to maintain long term, huh? I mean, I'm just thinking like I take a shortcut or two here or there. I imagine those employees are too, but they're working on things that are much more important, you know? So it's going to be an interesting future full of lots of interesting problems. I honestly think one of the best things you can do right now is like invest in like learning COBOL, because like you'll probably be guaranteed a job for life and like a really good salary, like making $500 an hour working on old like COBOL systems that no one else can maintain. Um, But yeah, okay. Up here, I'm gonna just say like matches everything, but the special characters that mean something. And we'll say i.e. Open parentheses, close parentheses. I built a website for my local council years ago. The IT infrastructure was horrible, as you could imagine. Windows 95 and IE4 in 2009. Wow. I bet, is that website still up? I bet it is. Because things back then were built to last. I mean, I think that's true in general, right? When technology's simpler, um, it like lasts longer. This is actually such a cool thing. Like just this part right here, this is some of like the most elegant code I've ever written. Just these 3 lines. Um, because all it does is it just takes the strings I want to process and it just splits them up into the individual spaces without paying attention to spaces or anything else. So it's just going to grab everything I need. And literally all it's doing, so this is just copied right here. So you can see like this matches this exactly. Um, so this is just saying we want to match a phrase. Huh. Can you insert a regex inside of another regex? That would be a cool feature, huh? So we want to match that, or we want to match the special characters. So we want to match not the special characters, or we want to match the special characters but no spaces. What is this last part? So this matches that, and then I say or. Wait, what is this thing? So that matches that. That goes to this. What the heck is that thing? I have to look at this. I mean, I've kind of learned over the years that you should just probably not use regexes for most things. But if you do use regexes, try to keep it as simple as possible. So like even though this regex looks complicated, and I honestly couldn't figure it out probably just by reading. I guess I did after a while, but like I can paste it here and I can see, oh, it's actually pretty simple. I'm just saying one of these characters or none of these characters. But I let it pass. Wait, what? Or, oh no. Huh? What? What? Won't that match spaces? Wait, why does... So this is saying or nothing? Or anything? Or what? What? So matches space... Huh. I mean, it works, but I'm actually kind of terrified. I think? Oh my goodness. I don't know. I mean, it works, but I think this is supposed to be a plus. I honestly think that's supposed to be a plus and not... Oh no. Okay, let's try it. So, save color, red, blue, green. Do I have the console login here still? I do. Oh no. This is why it's beta. This is why it's beta software. Name, modifier, args. Only one arg? Oh no. Huh? Okay, what? Oh, that's not good. Okay, so it seems that I have a bug. I thought I tested this, so I thought it was good. But my args should be coming in as I literally swear I tested this very thoroughly. But yeah, it doesn't make sense now. Okay, so let's see. So none of these or one of these. So special characters are fine, but I think the none of, I think I want it to have spaces in it. So I think I want to say, yeah. Um, hmm. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Uh, yeah, I think this is it. I feel really weird about modifying. This is like really core underlying code to the editable attribute. But I think this is more correct than it was before. I just feel super weird about replacing this now. So regex for phrase. So this. So this is like start of string, and then in none of these. Huh. Yeah, I think I don't know why I don't have no spaces specified here. Well, let's try it now. I bet it'll work. Invalid regular expression. Okay, let's see. Um, where's that regex go? Oh, jeez. It's down here. Okay, so install. Sublime. Oh, awesome. I appreciate that. Oops. Match. Params. Parentheses. There we go. Bracket highlighter, I guess. Bracket highlighter. Okay. Preferences, package, settings. Oh man, what? Bracket highlighter. Okay, so where do I go? Tools, packages, bracket highlighter. Where's the quick start? There's nothing. Whatever. Maybe it just works. No? Ay, ay, ay. Documentation, overview, feature list. How do I get it working? Okay, restart, I guess. No, it's not highlighting. Basic usage. Oh. Maybe I just don't have Sublime's defaults on. Match brackets true, and I don't have it over here. Match brackets content, square, braces. Okay. So I have it all on. This is super weird. I guess maybe it just doesn't work in regexes. Maybe it's only, yeah, maybe it's only like here. Okay, let's go to preferences again. And let's disable this stuff like they're asking us to, and we'll just try using the plugin. Okay. Save this, close, quit, open, and it works. It all just works. Nope. Well, at least we got it there. I guess we don't get it in a regex. Right? I guess maybe it just doesn't know how to figure out a regex. Sublime, regex, match, brackets maybe? I don't know. I guess it would make sense if it didn't support this. Okay, I guess not. Okay, so for some, I guess they're saying I don't have, this isn't a valid regex. Oh. Okay, so I just had one too many parentheses in there. Okay, let's try it again. Boom. Click this. So now we got all the parts, and now in here we got name, modifier, and 3 args. I don't know how I messed that up so completely that it wasn't working before. Or the advanced syntax wouldn't have worked. Okay, well, whatever. That's what I like to say when anything ever unexpectedly goes wrong. So here, I think we want to say, oh wait, editable, and we want to say name. Okay, so now I should be able to refresh this and be able to edit name. Okay, so weird, right? So I'm getting name here. Oh, okay, I know what's going on now. Okay, so now we've done step 1. So here we get the editable config, and we get the editable config string. Now we need to have an if here, and we have to say if editable config dot modifier. So if we don't have one of these, then we're going to set it. And so we're going to default to text single line. Okay, cool. So all of that, I mean, luckily we discovered an underlying bug that would have caused issues later when we tried implementing more advanced features. Oh, okay, it's not working. Still not working. Wait, let me think. Oh, wait, I'm an idiot. Editable config is an array. Okay, so we need to, yep, okay. Jeez. Okay, so editable, I should name this something different. Editable config. I have it everywhere. So speaking of variable names, this should give me some signal, I think, that it's an array. So let's do this. Okay, and we don't need to worry about it in other contexts. It's not even in any other context in this file, so we're good. But yeah, we're not going to worry about it if we're passing it somewhere else and we're calling it editable config there. We're just going to say focus. So we have an array here. So we want to go into each one. And now we have an editable config. So now we're going to say, okay, if editable config doesn't have a modifier. I don't like type signatures, to be honest. It might turn some people off, but yeah, I don't like TypeScript. I don't like types in general. They just slow me down. But to be honest, like, it would probably make me a better developer long term, write more reliable code, all of that. Like, I'm fully willing to admit that. Honestly, I have so much more fun with just native JavaScript. I don't think it's that hard to just, like, I would rather just do this, right? ARR, than deal with type signatures. But that's just, I don't know, that's just me. And I'm kind of like, I kind of just learned JavaScript. I didn't learn any other coding language. So I think I might not fully appreciate the, what's possible. But yeah. I think it would also make people more likely to work with me and like collaborate on projects if I had like good standard practices, like types and stuff. Okay, so cool. So now we're able to edit this, and all we did was put in the name here. So we could put in name, and we could also put in like ID. And then we should be able to edit both of those. Nice. So we can edit both of those now. Or we can just delete this altogether, which will make us edit both of them, huh? That stinks. That's actually a problem. Yeah. I mean, I think it is cool to like have some guarantees around around your code. Especially like, okay, so like I think when you're first starting out, when I'm first starting out on a project, I hate the idea of types or tests. But once I reach this stage where I have a lot of interconnected pieces, I kind of wish that I invested early on in having types and tests, because it would just give me this kind of peace of mind in the back of my head, like, okay, like I can make this major refactor here as long as I ensure that all the tests pass, or that I, change that code too. That would be kind of nice. So I do think like if you're going to be a real developer and like develop real software for like and have like it's solving real problems, like you're working for like a medical devices company, or something that people's lives depend on, or would be super super inconvenienced, right? If it misbehaved, like tax software or something. I think writing tests and having types makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So I don't know. I haven't learned them. Okay, so here, this is a problem. So a lot of the elements are going to have IDs on them, but I don't think they should be editable by default. So I think what I want to do ideally, okay, let's commit this code first, because this is some good code. So we're going to say allow specifying editable string, editable attribute value as just a single key name without parentheses. Okay, that's fine. Okay, cool. So what I would like is if you didn't intentionally, if you didn't put into the string that you want to be able to edit the ID, which I don't see any reason why you would ever want to edit the underlying ID, but sure, if you want to do it, you can do it. But I think if you didn't intentionally put it there, we shouldn't make that editable. So once we get this editable config array, so here, okay, cool. Stephen, have a really nice night and weekend, and hopefully, yeah, I'll see you on later in the chat or something. See you later. Okay, so here we're not adding it automatically for them. So it's only here that we're adding it automatically. So I think this is where I want to test it. So here I want to do a for each. And then I want to say don't edit editable config array. Don't edit IDs. Okay, so wait, what does this do? Element with data, object, keys, data from element, key name. Okay. Object, keys, map. Okay. So here, let's do object keys equals this. And then we're going to say object keys without ID key. Yeah, whatever. And we'll do filter, and then we'll do a yeah. Was it very loud? Sometimes I assume because I'm wearing these things that it's only picking up my voice. But yeah, my neighborhood is like crazy right now. They rerouted all the traffic that used to go like straight to like a highway through my street because they're doing construction down there, and they cut off the entire underpass. So yeah, now I have several bus routes along my street where I used to have none. So it's, yeah, very exciting. So we're going to say key name, and then return key name does not equal ID. I think that should be all that's required. And then object keys without ID key. And then we can map. Okay, so that should be all that's required, I think. Undefined is not a function. What are you trying to do on it? For each? For each? Oh no. Wait, what? Huh? Where did Okay, we gotta look. For each. Oh, because I added that up there. Okay, yep, this was the half side. Oh, what? It's not even an array? Oh, so I'm not returning an array anymore. Okay, well, either way, I guess it's a bug. So let's go down here. Filter. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think this will work, right? Let's see. Edit. Oh, it did work. Okay, so we're just filtering out, so we're not editing the underlying ID now, which is really good. You know what? The more I build this framework, the more I realize that, like, I don't know, like, I kind of understand how frameworks get bloated. Like, the more I build this, I'm just like, yeah, it would be nice if it did this. Oh, that would be nice. Oh, yeah, of course. Just add this little shortcut in, you know? And it's just like it's building shortcuts on top of shortcuts, and then eventually you're just like, oh, I'm in too deep. So like, I don't think I'm there yet, like I think I'm keeping things basic enough, but I think I'm kind of approaching the limit of my kind of tolerance for magic, you know? Like I kind of want people to understand how it works on an underlying level. I don't want there to be too much magic. Um, and I think I'm kind of approaching that line where like I kind of want to make it simpler, but I kind of want to make it sorry, I got distracted for a second by this console log. So I kind of want to make it simpler and easier to pick up, but I kind of want to like keep it simple to understand for developers too. Like if they're working with the framework and they're trying to make it do something, I don't want them to have to like dig through the code, right? I want them to kind of understand on a basic level, like, oh yeah, it's just grabbing this from here and stashing it in there. So it's kind of a hard balance, I think. But yeah, what do you guys think about this function name? Generate editable config from closest element with data. That's pretty nice, right? Okay, so anyways, I think, yeah, this looks like it works now. Personal to-dos and stuff. That saves. We can go in there and check these off, refresh, go back, rename, delete, refresh. Okay, so that all works. So now what do we do? What did we do? Oh yeah, don't edit the ID key by default. Okay, cool. And let's see if we can specify the ID key. So if we want to edit ID and name, this should work. Boom, now we can edit it and we can put in whatever we want. And now if we refresh, oh, it didn't update. Did it not update, or was I editing a different one? Oh, it didn't update. I know why it didn't update. Okay, I'll be right back. I have to use the restroom, so I'll be right back. Enjoy the short break. Okay, I'm back. So if you guys are curious, this is like the best pizza I think I've ever had. If you're interested in making pizza at some point, I would screenshot this recipe, or I don't know, I'll post this link in chat. But seriously, it's really not that hard to make. It's like 30 minutes, and it's so delicious. It's like honey with burrata, with a little like lemon salad on the side, and pistachios, like all chopped up really fine, and put on the top, and a few different kinds of cheese actually too. Um, but yeah, I know this isn't like a cooking stream, but it's very good. Uh, let's see. I need to just send this to a friend of mine because I think we're gonna cook it tonight. Oh, I gotta check, see if I have something or not. Okay, so I do have spring mix lettuces, 1 lemon. Okay, let's see. Is it good or is it bad?
Hey, that's pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, it's pretty nice pizza. And you know, you wouldn't think the truffle zest would matter that much, but it does make a difference. Truffle is such a unique taste. You don't really need that much of it, but it's good. Okay, so 1 lemon, 4 ounces. I wonder if Zach is. Oh, shoot, I shouldn't have said his name. Um, Flour, I have flour. 3 ounces Fontina cheese. Um, okay, 1 packet of truffle zest. And let's see. Oh, pistachios. A small bag of pistachios. And I think I have honey. Okay, so I think that's good. And I'll say truffle zest. Totally optional. I know I just said that the truffle zest makes a big difference, but I think it's one of those things you have to buy as like a big thing or not at all. And I think it's kind of expensive. I think it's like $30 just for like a spice, you know? So it does make a difference, but it's also kind of not worth it monetarily unless you're making this like every couple weeks. Okay, so the reason this isn't working is because yeah, why isn't this working? So if I save this as ASD, is this syncing to this item? It is, and then it's saving as IDASD. Oh. Okay, yep. So you can't edit. So what's happening is it's editing the ID on the page, and then it's trying to save to that ID, but that ID doesn't exist in the backend database, so it doesn't work. So actually, you can't edit IDs, but I'm kind of okay with that, anyways. I think in the future it would be nice, but for now, I guess yeah, well, should we look at it real quick? Maybe we should look at it real quick. Just maybe it's super easy, right? It's always good to get more familiar with our API routes. So we're not saving to path, we're saving to an ID. So the first thing we do is we get the item with the ID from the existing data. Okay. And then we do a special... No, I don't think this is going to work. So we do a special deep extend on the item data with the incoming data. So get item with ID, get item, where is it? Get item with ID. Okay, so we're returning undefined there, I guess. So then we're doing a special deep extend. I don't know what's going to happen there. And then an object assign. I actually have no idea. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Huh? Item data. Oh, okay. So we put it on the incoming data, and then we put that back into the item data, and then set user data, existing data, item data. Okay, yeah, and the item data is coming from the existing data, so the existing data should be extended. I think it may be interesting. Okay. To figure out what's happening here, because I don't want anything to like potentially mess up, you know? So let's put this back with the ID and the name, and let's just like, I guess, console log this as it goes along. So console log, and let's do like item data, and then here we're gonna console log item data again, and then we're gonna console log item data one more time, I guess. That's really all we have to work with. Okay, so let's refresh this, rename, and we're gonna do ASD, save, and let's go to the backend. Ooh, oh wait, have we been getting errors all along? We have. Cannot read property ID of undefined. Special deep extend 5531. Okay, so there's a problem. I was right that this is giving us undefined. Okay, so I think, yeah, basically there's no good default to do here. So I think what we want to do is just get out of here, right? If there's no item data, then let's just return. And let's see, is there anything else? Success false. Yeah, so let's do this. So we'll say user data not authorized. What's another? No incoming data. I should standardize all of these issues, but or all these errors. But I guess I could say like no item found. That's fine. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Okay, so let's refresh, and now if I try to save, it's just going to say error saving data. Okay, so if you try to edit the ID, it's just not going to work. I'm okay with that. And because I think that's good, because it's like, how would you even know where to save that data, right? Like you have no idea in which place you want to save that data unless you use like a save to path. And it will actually work if you save to a path and you change the ID. Because save to path works differently. It's going to get the data at the path from the existing data, and then it's going to extend that with the data that you pass in. So that will actually work. So you can edit the ID, you just have to do it. Yeah. Yeah, you know what yeah, okay, cool. So I'm glad you mentioned that. There's a cool thing that I learned, that I helped make. I used their code. I copied and pasted their code to be able to handle this. But this is super cool. So this function takes something, a promise, right, that you would pass to an await statement, and then it's going to return I just realized I have no idea how this works. Oh, no. Okay. So it's gonna return an array with the data as the first argument or the error as the second argument. So basically, instead of awaiting the original promise, you can wrap it in this capture thing, a capture function, and then you can grab the results and see whether it's either data or error. So I guess I did just have this. Where was this? In special deep extend? Oops. Oh, jeez. So let's go to special deep extend. I think I am using capture already here. I'm not. So where's my promise? Await? Promise? Oh, promise? Where is my promise? Special deep extend. Wait, am I? Well, let me first of all just show you how to use this because it's pretty cool. This is I will do that. So this is an example of using it. So you just do await capture, and then you capture the promise. So set user data goes off and does something asynchronously, and then capture is going to return the response, the actual response if there is one, and then the error if there is one. And then you can say, oh, if there's an error, then just return whatever. So it makes handling those promise errors so much easier. Okay, so let's go here. 5531 of special deep extend. So it got all the way down to here. 5531. Okay. But why is it a promise? So if I go, oh, it's because this is an async function. But am I awaiting special deep extend? I'm not awaiting special deep extend. So I don't know why it's an unhandled promise rejection. You didn't know you could catch multiple values? So you're not catching multiple promises, if that's what you're meaning. But yeah, this is just destructuring here, which is like a new ES6 thing that I'm also just learning. But yeah, it makes the API for like dealing with promises so much easier. It's so much nicer than it was before, where I'm just like, oh, I'm not handling that potential error. Now I can just handle it inline. It's so much nicer. Like you used to have to wrap it in a try catch, but now you don't have to. If you actually, you know what I should do? I should actually have a source on this. And I bet if I search for this, it's going to come through. I think it was on Dev2. No, actually I think it was a Medium article, which is really going the way of the dinosaur pretty quickly. Okay, maybe this was it. Da, da, da. Okay, I don't think that was it. This isn't it either. Maybe this is it, actually. Oh, handle. I think this is it. I guess they just have the code. Where the heck is the code? Handle. Is it function handle? Nope. Is it handle equal? Okay, here it is. Yep. So that's it. I just renamed it to capture because I like capture better. Okay. Cool. So we'll put the source in there. Just to give the guy credit. What did you say? Time to restructure my code. Nice. I always like making people restructure their code. Yeah, I actually just had to do that myself the other day. Yeah, well, anyways, I don't know why this is. I guess it's returning an async error because it's in. It's inside of this async function, which I'm actually not sure why it's inside an async function. Oh, I guess, yeah, I do want to wait at the bottom. So yeah, I think that's why, because it was throwing an uncut error. So I guess, yeah, what I could do, could I wrap this in capture? No, I don't know. That would be interesting. Okay, yeah, not gonna worry about that. Okay, so we actually didn't get to most of the things I wanted to get to today, and I'm probably gonna stop streaming soon. Okay, if no item with an ID is found, abort saving. We're fixing a lot of underlying bugs, though, that are going to really bug people, if they're starting to use the framework, so I feel good about all this. Okay, editable attributes should default to text single line even when not specified. Done. Okay, make data I remove buttons work outside of inline edit popovers. Have them remove the closest element with data on it. So the way that Remake was formed from the start is to kind of act as a editable data area. I don't know why that just popped up. Editable data area that pops over the page, right? So that's the whole point of it, is that you can design your page exactly how you would want it. And you don't have any like actual inline editing, but you have this ability to basically add an inline editing system on top of your page very easily. And have all your data mapped to it, right? But it's not meant for like editing inside the page, right? So like if I have a remove button here, for example, so let's add a remove button. So we'll say remove, and let's look at to-do lists SAS. I think I can just do this. I'm actually not sure about that. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, nope, that's not good. Okay, yep. Okay, so remove needs to have its margin left. Set to like 8px or something, or maybe 12. Okay, 1, 2, 3, refresh. Okay, nice. So now we have a remove button in line. It's not actually meant to work because you're supposed to do all your editing through these inline edit areas. However, I imagine it would be kind of nice to just have the ability, right, to just do it inline. So, and like, why not, right? And I think it's going to be, well, I always say it's going to be easy, and then it ends up taking like a day. But I think this might be, I'm not even going to say it. Let's just look, right? So let's go into input. Let's go into, they're always named weird. Remove. That's pretty standard. Okay, so remove and hide event listeners. Okay, so data I remove and data I hide. Okay. Okay. So yeah, we want to do it for both of these because hide, basically that just resets all of the data to nothing. Yeah, just like mail client, me, I never done something like this before, but how hard can it be? Yeah. Yeah, that sounds, yeah. Just like building like the remake started as me just trying to build a site without a JavaScript framework, and look where I am now. Look at like these. This is just one part of the framework. Like this, and this is just the front end right here. I guess it's not that bad. I've kept it pretty simple, and most of the stuff honestly is in input.js. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it has gotten a lot more complicated than I intended at first. But I think that's pretty bold to create a mail client. That's pretty cool. I saw a mail client the other day that looked pretty nice. It reminded me of yours a little bit. Like they were trying to keep things really simple. I forget where I saw it. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. I think it was on Twitter somewhere, but that's not very helpful. Okay, so let's do it. Just focus on remove first. So here we find the nearest ancestor element that has the attribute data I sync. So we're assuming we're in a popover. Then we get the closest element with data on it. Okay, source element closest. You gotta go. Have some music mixing to do. Have a great stream and check your mail. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I did. I saw your email while just the other second, so I will respond to that. Have a great night and a great weekend, and I hope to see you next week and talk to you hopefully next week. See you later, Android. Forget your real name. Have you ever told me your real name? Was it? I'm not gonna. Should I guess? Was it Jeremy? Ugh, that could be totally off, crazy. No, that is. What is your? Have you ever said your name? Maybe you haven't. It's fine if you haven't. No, oh my god. Okay, let's go to Discord and let's figure out. Oh no, I have your email, dude. So I know your. I know your. Um, let's see. Uh, Let me see. What was your name? Uh, Andrew. Andrew, have a great weekend. I'll see you on later, hopefully. My email address. Oh, did it? Oh no. But I had streamer mode on. Why wouldn't it just block it? uh, okay, goodbye. No, I post my email address in various places. I don't mind. Okay, so we assume, yeah, we assume we're in here, get the parent node, and then we remove it, and then we call the save function. Okay, so basically, this is pretty simple. We just want to say, like, if we don't have a sync element, so if we're not in an inline edit area, then we're just going to set the source element to something different, right? So if we, I guess let's do the best case first. So if there is a sync element, then we're going to just do the normal one. Else, we're going to set the source element equal to the sync element. Oh no, not to the sync element, to event.target. So event.current target. Okay. Then we're going to get the closest element. that's an object. I'm fine with that. Okay. Okay. We'll say like handle the case where we're in a an editable popover, and handle the case where we're on the page. Say like clicking a remove button on the page. Okay, cool. So that should work. Let's test it out. So first of all, we need to say data I remove. And are we looking for anything here inside the remove? No. Okay, so let's save that. Let's refresh. And let's remove the personal to-dos. Boom, it worked. And it saved and everything. Okay, cool. So now for, hey Sebastian13, welcome to the chat. So now we're going to do the hide. So we got the sync element, and for each attribute, we're going to grab all of its keys, and we're going to set the, what? For each attribute name starts with this, set attribute, attribute name, okay, to an empty string. This is not great. So this will, oh yeah. Okay, so this only works, caveat / bug. This doesn't work with location attributes, which is something, location attributes were something I was planning on deprecating, but I'm not anymore. So I think I wrote this during that time when I was strongly considering deprecating them. That's a nightmare. Okay, so I think I have a way around this. So if we look at output.js and we go into, it's not this one, parse node. Parse node has all of our utility stuff. So get data from node, get data and data source, whatever, get data from location string, get location key value, set location key value, set value for key name, camel case to dash. So it assumes, okay. Okay. So I think what I want to do here is say or data starts with data L key, and then we want to say camel case key name equals camel k, or sorry, so the opposite of this. I think it's dash to camel case, but we'll sort of fix that later. And then we're going to do attribute name, something like this. I think it's splice. And then attribute name, I forget how I do this. Parse node, okay, how do I do this? Parse node, here, index of key prefix length, substring. Okay, so substring and then I do that dot length, I guess? Is it just the length of it? Yep. Okay, so that's going to give me, yeah, so let's do let dash case key name equals that. And we'll pass that into dash to camel case. Now we have the camel case key name, and now we should be able to do set value for key name, no matter what type it is. So we should be able to pass in the element, key name, and value. So here, we're going to say sync element. This key name and the value is going to be an empty string. Okay, so now we got to do this here. I'm fine with importing both of them, that's fine. Dash to camel case. I got that right. And then this, I believe, should give us the right one. I'm surprised. I guess I'm not super surprised. I don't have a way to like set everything. How about this? How about I write a function here that's like set all values, set all location key. Okay, how about set all data to empty strings? Sure. And then we're gonna pass in the element, and that's all we should need. And we're gonna grab all that, and we're gonna paste this in here. And I think we already have for each attribute in here. Yep, we're already importing it. Okay, so we're gonna pass element in here, got attribute name, attribute value. Delete this because it's no longer true, hopefully. Attribute name starts with this, or attribute name starts with this. We'll get the dash case key name by getting the attribute name, substringing it, and just getting the length from this. And then yeah, this question mark I think is clearer there, because it could be either O or L. We don't really care, right? So whatever. We just want the length of it, right? And they're both the same length because this just has an O and this just has an L. Then we do the camel case by converting this, and then we set the value for the key name of this, for the camel case key name, to an empty string. Okay, so now we should be able to do this on the sync element. Hello? Spam call. Okay, cool. So now we just need to import this. So we'll export it there. And do we import parse node here? So we don't need this anymore, I believe. Dash. Nope, okay. So we need parse node from here. We don't actually go into output.js from here. So we need to grab it like this. So we'll say from, okay, so we're going to need to export it from here actually. So we'll do a comma, here, import, and then export here. And then we're going to go up a level and then into output.js. And we can just import output.js because we're going to default to going into index.js, and we just exported it there. So we should have it there. So now we just need to test it. So we need to say data I hide. But that's not going to work right now. Yep, that's not going to work. So we need to have, sorry, we need to have the editable one be with hide. Because right now it's only going to work with the inline popovers. We're going to make it work on the page too, but we need to cover the basic case first. So let's go rename. Oh, it really shouldn't be called rename. I just realized because we're editing it. So it should be called edit. Because we can remove it too, so it shouldn't be called rename. That's a crazy thing to call it. Okay, so edit, and now we have this hide, this remove one that's set to hide it, I think. Yep, data I hide. So now when I click this, everything on this element, I didn't click it yet, so everything on this element, so this element should stay there, but the ID and the name should be set to nothing. Okay, so let's edit it and click remove, and boom, it worked. Now it didn't reset the ID to an empty string, which is what I want it to do, but I'm very weirded out that it didn't do that. Why didn't it reset? Because it should match data okey ID. Let's console log attribute name and refresh, remove. Wait, what? Huh? Okay, I have to go. I'll be right back. Just like 2 minutes. Okay, so we console logged this and we didn't get anything, which is weird because I think it worked. So if we save this, now we edit it and we remove, it does work to set it all to empty. Well, at least the name. Oh, okay, so we are getting something. Okay, yep, we are getting something. Okay, but why doesn't it go... Set value for key name. Is it something in here? Set value for key name. Okay, ditto key. No, it wouldn't be because I'm just testing. Okay. Let's put this up here. Am I missing something? Data O key ID. Data O key ID. That should match. Okay, let's try one more time. So let's do this. Edit, remove. Huh. So it gets the class. Oh. Okay. So the ID isn't being synced back and forth. I believe I must have a protection for that. Sorry, I'm like I'm in the editable area. So let's see. ID. I must not be adding the ID to the inline edit area when I get the data. So let's see. Where do I add the data? Add data output. Oh yeah. I'm stripping out. Right. Because it's not. The ID isn't editable. Okay. Yep. Okay. So I think in here I specify that. Or I don't. Strip out the ID key. It's not editable. The ID key because it's not editable. Okay. And we'll say note, we strip out the ID key. Okay, and auto generate the editable config if none is present. Okay. Pyro240, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, so the reason it's not resetting the ID is because the ID isn't being edited in this inline edit popover. So when I click this and I click remove, it's resetting everything that's in the inline popover, which is just the name of the to-do list. So that's why that's being set to nothing. But I'm going to have the problem of when this is a hide attribute, it shouldn't reset the ID. So I am going to need to address that. So we're going to say set all data to empty strings. And I'm going to say, people are like complimenting my naming, and now I'm like getting self-conscious. Set all data to empty strings except IDs. This is, I think that's really what I would name it anyways. No problem. So if it starts with this or that, okay. So that I like, but we're going to say, and it doesn't start with data O key, and we're not going to say starts with, we're going to say and attribute name is not equal to data O key ID. Okay, and now that, where does this match? Okay, so that matches there, that matches there. Okay, let's put this first, just to be clear. So we're going to say, okay, if the attribute name is not data O key ID, Um, it should be a regex. Uh, maybe, yeah. I could see that. I think this is a little clearer than a regex. But yeah, I think I see that you're being sarcastic. So, but yeah, I don't know. If you're good at understanding regexes, it'll probably be clearer as one. Okay, so I think this will strip out the ID now. But let's just see if it. So yeah, it did work. It did work. So let's commit this. Let's see what we have so far. So we added some doc strings. Here we're removing the element. Okay, set all to empty strings. Yep, there. We did a lot actually. I'm good. I'm proud of. I'm good with that. Okay, so we're gonna say like allow data I remove to be inline on the page. Fix data I hide to respect location attributes. And we added some documentation, but that's not really necessary to specify. Yeah, that's pretty much all we did. Let's just make sure we're not leaving anything behind that we don't like. It looks good to me. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so we did test this, and it does work. It sets everything to an empty string if we remove it. And now we can save it again. Blah, blah, blah. Cool. And if we go into it, those things are still there. Okay, cool. So the last thing we want to do is get the data I hide to work even if we're not inside an inline edit popover. So we just want to say if we have the sync element, right? If we're in an inline edit popover, then we're going to do that. Else, we want to find the closest element with data. Oh, that's weird. So here, that's actually... Oh, no, this makes sense. Oh, wait, what? Oh, this is weird. Is this weird? No, this isn't weird. Okay, that makes sense. So here we're like traveling through the popover into the original page source and removing the actual element. And then here we're just in the inline edit popover where setting the data in the popover to nothing, which will sync back to the page and set it to nothing. We don't have to jump back. We don't have to jump into the page and set it to nothing because the inline edit popover does that automatically. Okay, so we're going to say let element with data equal event current target, and then closest object. Okay, cool. And then we're going to say set all data to empty strings. Boom. Okay, so now this should work. So let's refresh. So now if I do remove here, oh, it didn't work. Cannot read property attributes of null. Okay, so, yep, so the element I'm passing in, element with data. I believe maybe this is set to nothing. So let's refresh this, click remove. What? Huh, data I hide. Sync element. So sync element is defined? Let's do a debugger here. Or maybe I just didn't refresh enough. Let's try one more time. Nope, okay. Let's do a debugger there. 3, 2, 1, refresh, remove. Okay, this is not being called at all. What? Index parse node, remove and hide event listeners in data I hide. Oh, what? So wait. Okay, something's not compiling. Oh, I hate this shit. Okay, set all data to empty strings. I like kind of wish my console would come, my terminal would come to the front when there's an error like this, which is not declared. Exporting. Oh, because I renamed it, of course. Set all data to empty strings except IDs. That goes there. We need to import it up here. We need to export it down here. And then we need to import it up there. And then we need to use it here. Okay, there we go. Delete and delete. Okay, and if this works, I am done for the day. Let's see. Remove, didn't work. Okay. Cannot read property closest of null. For each ancestor match. Where is that getting called? Sync data between elements. Oh. What? Wow. So I'm triggering the sync and save. On the event. What? Why would I trigger sync and save on the event? Did I mess that up somehow? No? Okay. Let's go to where this is defined in sync data. In here, so we're going to go into like trigger, sync, and save. Okay, so we do pass in an event. Ah. Okay. 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 That makes sense. So this function is only meant to be used inside of an inline edit popover. So here we have to just call the save function. So we'll just say like save data on the page. And we'll say like 3b, and this can be 3a. Okay, cool. And this can similarly be 2a and 2b. Okay, cool. So save data on the page, call save function, target element is going to be, we can just use event current target. Okay, cool. Let's refresh, remove. Why? Okay, let's see what element with data is. Refresh. Oh, it did work. Huh. So element with data, it's getting the right element with data. I don't know, I think I have to go, guys. I think I will finish this up later. But yeah, I have a call soon, so I have to go. Thank you for watching, and I'll be on next week on Thursday and Friday from around noon to around like 3 or 4. So I'll see you all then. Have a great weekend. Okay, see y'all.